So, last time on Castle Crashers, the king and his knights actually went east, so let's check out what this place is. There are a lot of dead knights around, and hey, that's the princess that was taken by that jerk. Look at him. No, he can't be right. Crag has to be able to destroy this door, right? My god. Yeah, you just laugh it up now. One day Crag will be back, and he'll prove you wrong. He does not take that sort of insult lying down, so I guess we have to progress this way. So Flowery Fields itself isn't too bad. Starting off we have bees. They'll just fly around and I guess try to punch you, because eventually they stop flying and just look really angry at you, but they are so easy to take care of. You can juggle them in the air pretty easily and they don't take much damage to die. Quick note though, the king can actually be knocked off his horse if he gets hurt. And if that happens, he won't try to get back on it for some reason, so you can actually jump on the horse yourself. The horse, however, unlike Snaps before, doesn't actually have a special Y button attack, so you just swing your weapon no matter what. Now, coming up here, I believe, yep, we actually have beekeepers, and in fact, these are the only two beekeepers in the game. They are unlockable characters, but they also have droppable weapons. Droppable weapons that you do actually unlock if you unlock the characters themselves, but certain enemies do drop their weapons. Those guys, however, it's a very rare drop and it's hard to get that way just because there are only those two, and then we move onwards. So, what better way to siege a castle than to jump on a catapult? I'm actually usually pretty good about getting the meter full. It doesn't really matter how full it is, but if you want to get a full meter, which does actually get you an achievement if you're into that, you have to press X before it reaches the top, and then it should be fine. So, up on the castle, unfortunately, these guys do have guards to take care of. These are the cone heads, and I hate them. First things first, they don't really juggle all that well, probably due to their armor, but they're a little heavier, and therefore it's harder to get them up in the air. And speaking of the air, my strategy doesn't work as well against them because they actually throw bombs. It's their projectile attack, and bombs are really good at interrupting you mid-air, and trust me, they love using it. So do be wary about where you are in the air. I'd suggest just juggling the hell out of them. Try killing as many as possible, just get as many of them as you can within your weapon swings. Otherwise, there's a chance that one guy will come loose and then just throw a bomb at you and interrupt everything. Of course, if you're fighting on the ground, that doesn't mean you don't have to watch out for bombs, because they can still hit you just as easily. Thankfully, these guys have been pretty easy so far, thanks to the fact that we have these knights backing us up, so they're helping out and just taking care of the stragglers that we can't take care of, but unfortunately, see that guy on the edge of the screen? Yeah, we got a burly cone head, or a beefy cone head, whatever you want to call him. And of course, this guy's going to be quite the nuisance, and in fact, our backup knights are actually going to be a bit annoying here, just because he's going to be punching them a lot more. They do a bad job at stunning them, and I can't really stay a good distance away to not be hit by his punch attack. I mean, they're taking most of it, but still, I had to suffer because of them as well. But at least they did manage to take care of him without too much trouble. I did get hit a few times, though. Anyway, here I am. Crag, motherfuckers. Well, that didn't really go so well for anybody but Crag, and now we're kind of doing this alone, which doesn't really look too good. But on the bright side, free cake, and Crag doesn't even have to share, and oh, is that ice cream over there? You know, despite the fact that our comrades were just killed, this is looking like a pretty good day. Of course, now we do have to take care of these cone heads, and okay, that is the one good thing, is if the AI doesn't really feel like doing much, they can hit themselves with their own bombs, but without partners, yeah, we're gonna have to worry about those a lot more. Plus, we're not on a 2D-ish plane, so that makes it even harder to keep track of all of them and hit them with just one swing. By the way, if you're missing any health, I would just pick up any of the items over here immediately, just because you won't be able to scroll back once you hit the next enemy encounter. However, you do get 2 more healing items, which I'm probably going to eat that cookie, because I'm missing a little bit of health, and I am a little ways away from getting a level up. It's probably not as much as it really looks like, just because Giraffe here is going to help us level up. So we got more of the same here. Thankfully they don't throw in any other enemies to distract us, and I suppose these guys don't really use bows, which is kind of nice. Not that it matters, because their projectile does kind of go a ways away, but nonetheless, if at least they can't reach us from the other end of the screen. And that guy's stuck on a table. Okay, I won't argue. Ah, damn it. See, he didn't actually notice until I pointed it out. He was like, okay, I'm gonna get that there, Crag, and I'm just gonna fuck him up. I'm gonna be the knight that finally puts an end to Crag. Wait, did he say... Oh, I'm stuck on a table. Oh, silly me. Anyway, that guy actually dropped a, his little beam katana thingamajig. I will admit, that's not one of the best weapons in the game, but it's kind of one of my favorites, to be completely honest. Because it is, it's a cool-looking weapon, alright? I think it's called the lightsaber, actually, which you'd think would have been copyrighted or something, but apparently not. But the stats on it aren't the best. It can actually use electricity, though, which I think does a little bit of extra damage. I'm not sure what exactly it does. I think it's just a bit of extra damage, though, so kind of like critical, but not as good. But other than that, it only has +1 agility, which is not good for Crag because he is not about the agility at all. It's just not his thing. But anyway, more of these guys to take care of. I guess there were more of them patrolling the outside, but then they just jumped in and ruined these perfectly good stained glass windows, and all for nothing because they're pretty easy to take care of. But while these guys aren't too bad to take care of once you whittle them down and keep them under control, once you go over here, we got a boss. Thankfully, I guess we stopped them from getting married or something, but now we have to face the Conehead Groom, and this is one of the hardest bosses in the game. I'd also like to mention that this is one of the longest segments in the game, and this is one of the guys that'll really determine whether or not your run of this segment's gonna go well. I mean, if you die, you start all the way back when we landed on the cake, but yeah, this guy's a pain in the ass. First things first, he is super fast, and while I'm keeping him under control right now, sometimes he just does not feel like being knocked over. And when he does, again, he's super fast, he can throw bombs in a moment's notice, he can throw a lot of bombs, and he's got that spin attack which is hard to interrupt. In general, his normal sword strikes are very difficult to really deal with if he's pulling them off fast enough. And even worse, then there's this attack, which I was about to say is easy to dodge, but I'm pretty sure I was avoiding the marker right there. You saw that, right? A bomb was supposed to go over to the left, but it went right for Crag, which I think is cheating, personally. Wow, he really threw that up high, but anyway, it is a very easy attack to dodge, but it takes forever for him to do it, and if you don't keep him down, he's just gonna run right over, protect himself, and now we can't hit him, and okay, I will admit that was my fault. I should not have gotten hit by it, but yeah, that was my bad, but seriously, he's just standing over here, doing this easy-to-dodge attack that takes forever to finish. Like, this is probably not gonna kill you. He is probably going to kill you, or at the very least, he's really going to be a drain on your potions. And, yeah, just hard battles being interrupted by a very Come on! Now he's just making fun of me, I swear. But yeah, he just interrupts himself constantly, and it's so annoying to fight him. Like, I'd rather no boss at all gets a really long interruption like this where you can't attack the boss, but it's just even worse because it's already a hard enough boss to fight. It doesn't matter that he's attacking super fast here because now he attacks a whole lot. But we took care of him, and thank God for that. That was actually a pretty good run. So, it looks like we've saved the princess, and I do so love her little punchy dance right there. What's your problem, dude? Don't cry over him. He really wasn't that good a person. He was annoying to— Hey! I was rescuing her! Oh well, after that annoying boss fight, time for awesome things to happen. Here's a little bit of Crag wit for you. Action time! Oh yeah! So now we're riding along this chariot, and this is super cool because now these guys are just going to try to jump up and attack us here, but we're just going to knock them over, and also we're going to send them careening into the Cyclops' head, because why the hell not? You can't kill him like this, but nonetheless, I like doing it anyway, just because we can. So this is just such a cool segment, because, come on. How can you not love this? We shot ourselves from a cannon onto this frickin' chariot, and now we're riding it, and this could be a difficult battle if we couldn't knock guys off of this, but we can, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Watch out right here, because now we're being accosted by thieves who throw bombs at us, and yeah, you don't want to be standing under those. By the way, you yourself can be knocked off the chariot, as shown here, but thankfully that's not instant death, and are you kidding me? You're persistent. So, this battle, it's probably a better idea to use whatever projectile you're better with. Like, I should be using magic right here, but all in all, I think the bow is just a better weapon for this, because you're going to want to get into a sort of rhythm here, because every few seconds a thief is going to come roping down and try to attack you, and you immediately want to knock him over, because the giant troll right here, he's got a special attack. He's going to be charging up a laser eye beam, and it's not an instant kill or anything like that, but if we can't hit him with arrows or magic or a dead thief, then he will hit us with it and it will hurt and knock us off the chariots. The worst part about this battle is being interrupted by a thief, being knocked off by a chariot, and then the giant troll gets enough time to charge his laser, and once you come back to the chariot, you immediately get hit by his eye beams and just fall off again. It won't kill you or anything unless you have really low defense and HP, but nonetheless, it's just annoying to happen, so you don't really want to be thrown off your rhythm here. But overall, I should use magic just because it does more damage. By the way, just because you hit the thief over to him, yeah, I did a little bit of damage there, but I didn't actually hit his eye. The eye is what you want to hit to interrupt him. I don't think any point in this battle it really shows that off, but if you only hit like his face or something like that, then he'll still charge his eye beam anyway. But we finally killed him. That takes care of that, and now to take care— oh, goddammit. Ow. Well, that was annoying. Apparently you can't actually die there if you actually manage to have 1 health. That is really hard to pull off, though, only having a point of HP left, so I've never seen that happen, thankfully. That would be utter bullcrap if it did happen. And now we have the return of the slimes. This right here is where they are annoying. Because remember that little hold attack they have where they jump on your head and try to eat you? Well, that doesn't do too much damage in itself, but it holds you down long enough for these guys to attack you. And trust me, because there are no invincibility frames in this game, these guys can tear you apart if you get held down for that. And oh look, these guys are back. Whoa boy, I can't wait to see these guys. The nice thing about those guys is, though, they do actually indicate that there's a pretty high drop rate for gold. Like, Coneheads will almost always drop gold bags here, so that is pretty handy. Of course, slimes don't drop anything whatsoever, so that's just great. Hey, wish they did, would have been nice. They're holding out on me. By the way, gold over here. Grab it as fast as you can, and you can't get all the gold bags there, but I didn't. Thankfully, though, I did get all but 1, so that's pretty good. So now we have to fight both thieves and Coneheads, and unfortunately, they both kind of hate us, so if they had any differences, they'd probably be settled for them to kill us. I'd suggest taking care of thieves first, because if you'll remember, they can steal your items and your food, so you don't want that. I mean, you already have these guys trying to steal your gold bags, you don't want thieves doing it as well. Of course, the Coneheads are probably going to live through this anyway, so thieves are going to die pretty quickly, just because they have a lot less defense, HP, and it's a lot easier to juggle them because they go up higher, so yeah, they're a bit more pleasant to deal with. Coneheads, on the other hand, yeah, I don't really care for them. Not at all. Especially because of that bomb attack. Curse their souls. Ah well. So it seems like the Cyclops managed to get away through this cave. But we're being slowed down quite a bit by the Coneheads and the thieves, which is definitely not good. The Cyclops can't run too far, and well, that looks like quite the gate. That should probably indicate that his abode's pretty close. I mean, if a Cyclops is going to live anywhere, he's probably got a gate with one eye on it. I mean, good on him for not being self-conscious about it. I mean, just because he doesn't have two eyes, you know, that doesn't mean it's a problem. His depth perception is probably pretty poor, but, who cares? He's only got one eye. He's a Cyclops, for crying out loud. What's he gonna do about it? Get eye surgery? How's it? Oh, dear God. Okay, right there. Yeah, see? That's not good at all. I damn near died there. Thankfully, I actually managed to keep 4 potions, rather. 3 potions now, though, but... yeah, see what I mean? Multiple slimes jumping on top of me, multiple cone heads whacking me. Really was not a good situation there, and I very well could have died. I haven't died just yet, so... pretty good run so far. And it was just damn near ruined right there, just because... got pretty unlucky, but that is why I like fighting on the... not on the ground, I like fighting in the air. Fighting on the ground is not what I like doing. It's a little more useful for cone heads, but honestly, even with cone heads dying a little slower to aerial attacks here, I'd still suggest using that just because it's easier to take care of the slimes like that. And thankfully we're just about done here, and hey, that one guy dropped a pear. Isn't that nice? Yeah, that guy's gift was nice, but then he just ruined it by taking more HP from me. I mean, I've almost leveled up, so it doesn't matter too much anyway. I'll be at full health soon, but... oh, that guy dropped meat though, so that's pretty helpful. That takes care of that, and suddenly lava. I don't know where this goes, considering there's a forest right next to us. Not too far at all from here, but whatever, I'll roll with it. This segment's easy, just don't be impatient like I am, and you can just ignore the flow of that lava or molten cheese, whatever it happens to be. Break this wall down. It is pretty tough, but there's actually an item that I might already have that allows you to break those down pretty quickly. But now we're in the Cyclops Fortress, one of my least favorite areas in the game, just because it's one long, rather boring hallway, just filled to the brim with cone heads. And I'm oh so excited about them. You can tell from the tone of my voice. So since we've got a long hallway filled with these guys, what is there to talk about? Well, I could point out that my, Splash Magic Attack, that's the Y button magic attack, I'd like to point out that that one is still kind of short at the moment. Splash Magic isn't too useful until you really start upgrading it. It gets some really good range. Never quite as good as your projectile, of course, but still pretty good. But at the moment it is still pretty short, so I should upgrade my magic a bit more. Thankfully, Crag is pretty much based in every stat but speed, or agility rather, as it's supposed to be called. So, one reason that I don't really care for this area is, if you haven't actually noticed, one thing Castle Crashers is really good at is background detail. And unfortunately, this area is just kinda dull. I mean, there's that picture of the Cyclops and the Conehead groom, but, I mean, I suppose that is pretty good. I mean, if you couldn't already tell that those two were pretty good friends, well, yeah, here you go. We kinda just murdered that Cyclops' best friend, or maybe son? I don't know, we can't see the Coneheads. Maybe they only have one eye as well. We'll never be able to tell, though. Either way, though, friend or son, we did kill the groom, and... I mean, in fairness, I didn't like the guy, and no one really should because he was a jerk, but either way... right there, though, we actually have a little hidden passage with a new animal orb that I'll get to in just a moment. Oh, first, though, I'd like to take care of these guys, just because they're going to be annoying. One nice thing, though, is I think that's actually the first time I've shown off that you can break certain walls with bombs. There was one breakable wall early on, but that was before we got bombs. Actually, like, a few levels before we got bombs, even, so we just barely missed that, but either way, one nice thing about playing as Coneheads is the fact that they have projectile magic as bombs. They can't actually blow up breakable walls like that without actually needing to buy bombs, which is good because bombs really aren't that useful in combat anyway. I mean, to be fair, they do a pretty good job of interrupting enemies, but you can only carry 9 at a time, so they're kind of a last-ditch effort sort of thing. Anyway, since that's done, this is Snoots. You'd think he would add to defense, but he does add to strength, +2 to strength to be more specific. Oh, look at that, that's a nice fish they caught. Good for them. They liked fishing, even though there's no fishing spot anywhere around here. I don't know, maybe it's a lava water fish, who knows? But anyway, yeah, Snoot can be pretty useful just because he straight up gives you 2 strength. Of course, that isn't as useful for level ups as I've made note of before, but nonetheless, it is pretty good if you don't care about leveling up anymore and you just want a character with pure power, because they can be pretty useful. I mean, some people would probably say, well, if you're not getting experience, you know, it's really not worth it, you should maximize your experience, but sometimes just straight up want to murder a guy, so extra strength really helps speed that up, seriously. Also, this is one of those moments that I don't know if I want to use a potion or wait for a level up. It's kind of a risk right here, because I could very well be killed quickly by these guys, but I'm just so close to that level. It'd be a waste of a potion if I were to use it now, and then not get hit. Of course, this guy's down, eventually. Yeah, once you start stomping on him, they usually won't die, and ooh, is this actually... Yes, it is! 2 unique enemies! First things first, we've actually got one of Crag's relatives here, or friends, or either way it's a fire demon just like Crag, so we gotta take care of him. You know, Crag's facing one of his... probably some guy he knows. Alternatively, we also have the Conehead, who is actually a bit different. Notice those little things on his back. Those actually mean that he can't be thrown into the air at all. He's even heavier than your average Conehead, and he's got quite a bit of defense as well. He pretty much always drops that lightsaber though, so that is very nice. It's not really a random drop since you always obtain it here. But now that they're taken care of, it's time to take on Cyclops, because I gotta rescue that there princess. I mean, they're not related to the king, but nonetheless we shouldn't really let them be kidnapped. That'd be rude. Cyclops is a fairly easy boss. First things first, he's going to try to stab you. Then when he tries to get some distance, oh geez. Or sometimes he won't try to get distance and he will try to melee you with his throwing attack. That is really annoying because, well, this attack does more damage. His knife throwing attack, it can hit you multiple times just because, as I've said before, no invincibility frames, therefore when he tries to do this, it's really annoying. He's supposed to go away from you, but nope. He's supposed to go towards you when he's charging and trying to stab down on you. And basically when he's trying to do this, you kind of want to sort of, like, get hooked on him, on his hitbox, and then sort of swerve around him. You can do that in midair. You got a lot of air control in this game. Wow, that was botched completely. And once he's done stabbing you, there is enough time where he sort of stops trying to stab you where he can tell when he's trying to throw knives at you. That's when you want to keep your distance. You can try magic projectiling him, however you need to fire where he's going and not where he is, otherwise you're going to get hit by one of his knives, because he tosses those things out pretty quickly. But as I said before, this boss really isn't too bad. It can be a bit of a problem if you don't have enough potions. That previous segment can really determine whether or not you're going to survive here, because if you run out of potions there's a pretty good chance you're not going to make it through this segment, and now he attacks faster once he gets really mad, but we take care of him, and T2 him. Did you think I was joking? Come on, this game wouldn't pass up a Terminator 2 reference. Nobody does, why would this one? But with his death, we get free money, and hooray for that, it's just raining from the sky. I don't think Crag's too disappointed about that. And once we're done with this, we can rescue the princess, but not before, because we're not wasting this money at all. And she's free, hooray! You know, Crag liked that punchy dance she was doing, but she stopped doing that to be bad at face eating, which again just confuses Crag. I mean, come on, another woman who's just trying to eat his face but doing it very badly, come on. Doesn't anyone in this kingdom know how to face eat? I swear. Of course, speaking of kingdoms, I'm thinking... Ooh, that's a lot of stats. But anyway, I'm thinking we're in the area, so... Next time on Castle Crashers, it's time for Crag to visit... Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot something. There's a new store open. Right here. I always have to ruin my dramatic intro by forgetting there's a store. Ah well, few new items here. New weapon. Well, I guess I've commit quite a few sins then. Alright, I think we're good. Yeah, it's good. Alright, so new weapon here, more potions, another new weapon. Definitely need to stock up on potions. And after this, a new animal orb. This is Monkey Face. Increases your luck finding items, so you get more money, more food, and maybe some rare drops from time to time. But anyway, as I was saying before, next time on Castle Crashers, we go back to Crag's home.